Good afternoon, graduates. Welcome, families, friends, to the ceremony virtually. On behalf of the nursing faculty and staff, we'd like to congratulate you all as we celebrate this momentous and traditional celebration and culmination of your nursing study, pinning. For some background, the pinning ceremony is closely tied to an award given to Florence Nightingale, known as the Mother of Nursing. She was awarded the Red Cross of St. George in the 1860s for her tireless work during the Crimean War. Soon, the Nightingale School of Nursing at St. Thomas Hospital in London designed and awarded a badge with a Maltese cross to all nurses as they completed their program. And as such, the tradition began. You, the class of 21, have endured so much over the last 16 months. You have spent 4 semesters of the most rigorous elements of nursing study, as well as clinical immersion, impacted so heavily by COVID-19 and all of its uncertainty. You have handled it all with grace, understanding, and adaptation. I will say the same for faculty. Rearranging coursework and clinical activities on a moment's notice, guiding and facilitating your journey to this day. You are ready for nursing practice, and we look forward to the wonderful ways you're going to advance nursing through your skills, compassion, and advocacy. Before we proceed with this wonderful event, I want to make some acknowledgments. First, the pinning committee, led by Professors Jamie Bullock, Denise Blaze, and as well as graduate Delia Berry. Thank you for all that hard work. Second, I would like to thank the board of the Student Nurses Association, also known as SNA, to come to this, recognize them for their tireless work. This group of emerging leaders have dedicated selfless service to the Student Nurses Association. During the pandemic, their fundraising didn't waver. In fact, they found very creative ways to advance their activities while also managing all of the challenges of study and clinic. Much of what we are engaged in today is a result of the SNA's work. Grace Scanlon, as president, we thank you for your tireless service. I also want to take this time to thank Matt Rainville, vice president, Delia Berry, secretary, Carson Wheeler, treasurer, Cami Maycomer, service learning liaison, Kyle McLaughlin, GAPSA counselor, Laura Scally, GAPSA senator. You have set the bar very high for future SNAs. Thank you again for this service. At this time, I would like to introduce Dr. Nancy Baugh to the podium. Nancy was selected by the class to be their speaker for the last lecture. Nancy?
Thank you, Dr. Morton. And thanks so much to all of you. I'm truly honored to be asked to be a part of this in this way. I've never seen myself so big before, and it's kind of frightening. I didn't know they were going to do that. I'm like, wow. It was such a great day when I first met you 16 months ago in health assessment course, and just your shining, bright faces and your big smiles, and you were so excited. And I haven't seen your faces in about 16 months. So I hope that I recognize you out there when I see you in the world, and I'm hoping to see you. So after the pandemic hit, everything changed really quick. And in the words of one of my favorite philosophers, the great and late Jerry Garcia, what a long, strange trip it's been, right? It has been a little much. But I just want to give another shout out to the faculty. I'm going to reiterate some of what Dr. Morton said, in that this faculty had to really regroup. They went full steam ahead 24/7 to revamp and adjust to the changes that were happening to ensure that you were able to still meet the program outcomes and meet UNE's nursing program's high standards for you, and to make sure there was not any gap in your education. And they feel very confident that you have everything you need to be successful. Will you need a little tweaking still? Yes, but we all know that. And to reiterate, Dr. Morton, again, I mean, you guys have just demonstrated so much patience, resilience, tenacity, and have been able to work out of the box. We have all been 100% out of the box here during this time. In health assessment, the course that I was with you when this thing started, you know, that's known for being very hands-on. And so we had to really think out of the box, how are we going to make these labs work? And so I kind of switched to doing everything by video with my husband, Thurston, who called himself Brad Pitt. And he doesn't really realize that I'm more of a Tom Hanks kind of a girl. But he liked being Brad Pitt. And you guys demonstrated your techniques back to me with your whoever you could get, you know, so I had the honor of getting to know your moms, your dads, your significant others, your friends. Some of you were really isolated and were very creative in how you adapted to that. I remember Andrew Snickus, is he here? Andrew's not here. He created this incredible mannequin from a wetsuit, and it had a soccer head ball, and it had neoprene hands and neoprene feet. And this thing looked so real. I was waiting it to get up and do the gait test across the room and do the Romberg test. So he did a really good job. I also got to meet some of your dogs and cats who were there, whether you want them to be or not. And a couple of you have cats that are pretty cocky. Seriously. I mean, you guys would be doing your assessment and the cat would walk in going, what's happening here? Did someone call for a consult? Because I am here. Here I am. CAT scan, maybe? I can do a CAT scan for you. But that really just made it such a really fun experience for us, and you know, and just seeing your creativity and how you were able to adapt. We know that you are ready, and we feel that you're ready. And I just wanted to reemphasize some of the things that you know now that you didn't know 16 months ago. You now know the difference between an ACE bandage and an ACE inhibitor, right? I think you know that. You know the difference between a fundus and a fungus. That is huge, thanks to your maternity instructor over there. You know the difference between palpation and palpitations. You know there's a difference between being prostrate and having a prostate. You know that while something may be correct, it may not be the most correct, right? That was a little confusing at first. Like, what? How could this be correct? This is correct. Yes, but it's not the most correct. You know that the urethra that's on the mannequins across the hall is absolutely nothing like urethras in real life. There is no similarity, right? There is absolutely none. You know now that when someone says to you, your patient is tacky, you know that has absolutely nothing to do with their personal taste, right? You know that. And when you get an order on your patient that your patient can be OOB, you know that has nothing to do with Old Orchard Beach, right? Your patient is not going to the beach. And I just wanted to tell you a few things that you have in store for you that you will learn as you go into your career. One thing that all of us know and feel is that Jell-O is not a real food. You may have thought before you came into nursing that Jell-O was food, and now you know, no. I'm never eating that for dessert again. And it's not in any food group I will ever eat. And you also kind of chuckle when you see a TV commercial where they promote Ensure as a sports drink, right? No, that's not a sports drink. And you'll also learn that nurses are a little bit superstitious. You will learn and you will start to believe that when there's a full moon, that could be bad. That could be bad. Your shift may not be so good. That nurses really believe that patients' behaviors are a little off during a full moon, more babies are born, right, Professor Griffin? There is something to this concept. And there's actually some research that shows that it may have something to do with the gravitational pull of the moon on our bodies. But then there's other research that has just debunked that. But nurses still believe this. And nurses also believe that you can absolutely jinx an entire shift by saying something like, oh, great, looks like we're gonna have a quiet shift this evening. I mean, nurses will actually look at you with an evil eye and some will boo you. They might hurt you even. So don't say that, never say that. I just wanted to tell you just a quick story, a personal story that I think kind of illustrates the intersection of nursing faculty, nursing students, and the nursing profession. I kind of fell into education, had never intended, that was not in my goals to be an educator. But in the mid-'80s, I received a master's as a clinical nurse specialist in cardiology. And I think I told you guys this before. And there were no jobs anywhere in the country because this all happened just at almost the day I graduated. And it was because of this big DRG thing, diagnostic related groups, that was implemented by the federal government that changed the way that hospitals were reimbursed. And so hospitals laid off all of their people unless they were absolute essential personnel. So nobody was in the hospital but nurses, cleaning people, whatever. So there was not one job anywhere. I was working as a nurse, and I liked my nursing job. I was happy. I was like, oh, I'm okay. I really like it here. But somebody said, oh, I hear there's a nursing position at a nursing school across town. That she knew somebody who at the last minute left to go back to get her master's or whatever she was going to get. And so they were like desperate for someone. I was like, well, it's got my name written all over it. So I called them and they interviewed me on Friday. I started on Monday teaching. And I must have had the real deer in the headlights look because the senior kind of nursing faculty person kind of took me into her orbit and decided to be my mentor. And I was so fortunate. And I think about her a lot because her philosophy was all about, I want to create nurses that I would feel comfortable taking care of me and my family. And I want them to not just be competent, but to be caring and show compassion. That was just as important to her as being competent. And she was just a great nursing instructor. And so fast forward 15 years later, I'm still there at this nursing school. It was a diploma program. And this program produced amazing nurses. This is an old model of nursing education. There are very few diploma programs left. We have some faculty who was trained under that model. And they'll tell you they produce really good nurses, and everybody in town wanted these students if they could get them. And so it was 15 years later. It's a Friday. I remember this very clearly. I'm getting my morning coffee, and I'm in the break room, and there's another faculty in there, and they said, have you seen Mary today? This is a pseudonym for my friend, the nursing instructor who was my mentor. I said, no, I haven't seen her today. And she said, well, she looks terrible. I said, oh, well, let's go see her. So we went to her office, and she was standing up at her desk getting her papers together and notebooks and getting ready to go to class and teach. And she looked bad. She really looked ill. And so I said to her, Mary, what's going on? Are you okay? She said, I got to go to class. I cannot talk to you guys right now. I'm on my way to class. So she's like going out the door. And we're like, well, maybe you should be seen this afternoon. Something's going on. She's like, I cannot do that. I have tickets to Vegas. I'm on a plane at 5 o'clock with my husband and some friends. We're going to Vegas. We're going to go see Penn and Teller. And I've got to do some slot machines, and I'll worry about this later. And we're like, wow, okay. So the other faculty and I were like, well, her husband's a dentist. those friends I think they're all in the medical profession, so maybe it'll be okay. Well, it wasn't okay. So on Monday, when we got back, we heard that she was in the hospital. And the hospital there was right across the parking lot from the nursing education building. So we walked over there and we went up to the floor that she was on, and there were several of our past students, and they're like, "Oh, she's over there. She's in that room." So we went over there, and one of our other past students was her nurse for the day, and she was really sick. And so we were talking to her, and she said, "Oh, I came in Sunday afternoon. They brought me straight here from the plane, and so-and-so admitted me." That was one of our students, previous students. "And I had another one last night on night shift. And, here's so-and-so who's with me now." And she says, I'm in good hands. I feel really good about this. And I think that to me just kind of summed up, that her life's work was to prepare these students to care for her. And they did. And she was comfortable in that place. The story did not end well. She passed away like 2 weeks later. But, it's just, to me, a poignant example of how life can come full circle, and just how, this was her life's work, to produce these incredible nurses that could take care of her. And I really feel like that is part of a measuring stick of all of our faculty. They do think that way, and that's why they seem so intense sometimes. It's like they could take care of me, and if they have to be competent, and they have to be compassionate to take care of me. So it kind of explains a lot, doesn't it? Just the intensity. So you guys are going to make a difference every day, and that is such a blessing. About being a nurse. You will have a very fulfilling and rewarding career. I know that Professor Bullock and Professor Kramlich have been working with you really intensely to prepare you, or help prepare you from this transition from school to practice. And they've taught you a lot and given you a lot of really good information and advice. And I just wanted to give you just a few more helpful hints to kind of send you on your way. And one thing I just wanted you to know is that it's really important that you learn to be comfortable being uncomfortable as you're a new nurse. You're not going to be comfortable. And according to one of our nursing philosophers and theorists, Pat Benner, you're not going to feel comfortable for about 8 to 12 months. We didn't know that when I was a new nurse. This information wasn't out there. I just felt like I'm a complete disaster. I don't know why, but this is ridiculous, But now we know that that's normal. And so you have to be patient with yourself and be kind to yourself. And if you can find a mentor, find one. A lot of hospitals now do a good job of providing you a mentor, providing you an orientation program where you don't feel alone and that you have that kind of support. So that's a huge improvement. And early on, focus on safety. I think that's, don't worry about making friends. You're going to make friends in nursing. You will find your people. I don't remember not one person that I worked with in my first job. I have these vague, hazy recollections of them, and most of them are kind of traumatic. But don't worry about that. Just don't even pay any attention to these relationships, the dramas, all the things going on. Just focus on your patient. Focus on getting them safely through your shift. That's enough to start out. Refill your cup. We have been talking about self-care with you guys since you came in the program. That's so important. Nursing is rewarding, fulfilling, but it's also very demanding. It's going to take a lot out of you, especially early on, and you have to take care of yourself. You guys know I like yoga and Tai Chi. I tortured you with that on occasion. And when I do yoga or Tai Chi every day when I get home. And it makes a difference, a huge difference. Like after I do it, it's like another day. It's like it helps me leave everything else behind. So in closing, I would like to, this is the next part. This is the next person who's coming. Oh, there I am again. Okay. Nursing will become part of your personal identity. You will always be a nurse, no matter what else you are, mom, whatever it is that you're going to do, a wife or a husband or whatever, but it just becomes part of your identity. Nursing is who we are, not what we do. And people in the public really value nurses. So you will always be looked on positively. And that's huge. Nursing, according to Gallup polls, are rated the most trusted profession in the US every year except 2001 when it was firefighters. So it's every single year. So we have a lot of power in that. And hopefully you can use that power for good. After you've been a nurse for a while, you can think about becoming part of a professional organization. There's so much that needs to be done in healthcare. And a lot of it has been brought to the forefront because of the pandemic, right? We now know about inequities in healthcare across this country. And so I think that nurses, we have the power, we have the trust of the public that we can really make a big difference. So, welcome to the profession. I know you're going to do great things, and I hope one day if I'm on that stretcher or that gurney or that exam table, or I've just fallen and I can't get up, that I'll look up and there will be one of you there looking down at me saying, "I'm here, Dr. Ball. It's me. I'm here to help you." And I'll go, "Oh, thank goodness I'm safe." So thank you so much, and congratulations, you guys. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone, and congratulations. Today is such an important day to all of you, the day that every single nursing student dreams of. This past year and a half has gone by so quickly, and I'm sure that all of you had no idea how this time was going to go. The first COVID-19 case in the US was reported right when you guys pretty much started the program, and I commend you greatly for continuing with this program throughout that time. For some of you, this was your first time in a clinical setting, and it was taken from you within 2 months of starting nursing school. Each and every one of you adapted and persevered through your nursing education despite these unfortunate setbacks. And I can say confidently that you are a part of one of the most prepared and resilient classes of nursing because of this pandemic. I understand that some of you have traveled across the country to attend this program and may not have been able to return home to your families last year. And I know that we all have learned the value of our families because of this. And by the side of me, you will see an empty chair that each one of you will walk past today. We would like to recognize those who could not be here with us today. This chair represents someone different for each of us, whether it be your family and friends on the live stream or someone dear to you who has passed away. So for whomever could not be here with us today, that is who this chair is for. And whoever you decide to dedicate this chair to, know that they are so proud of you and for everything that you have achieved during your time here at UNE, and will continue to be proud of you throughout your nursing practice.
Without further ado, I'd like to bring up Dr. Kramlich to introduce the pinning candidates.
Samsam Abdirahman. I want to thank my family, friends, fellow classmates, and professors for supporting me through nursing school. I also want to thank my son for bearing with me these 16 months. Most of all, I want to thank Allah, or God, for all the blessings. Zamzam. Emma Astbury. Thank you, Mom and Dad, for dealing with this. Thankful for the Jungle Freaks. Congrats, Lauren, we love you. Natalia Batchelor. Thank you so much to my mom, dad, and Elaine for their love and support. Couldn't have finished this without you, JTQ and Schminky Peeps. Gwen Bailey. Thanks, Mom, Dad, Deirdre, Jill, and Billy for all your support over the last 16 months. Shout out to my Jungle Freaks. We miss you, Lauren. Danny Buranek. Haley Cushing. I am so excited to be a third-generation nurse. I will be working on Miller 3 at the UVM Medical Center in Burlington, Vermont, implementing a strict work-play balance in the Green Mountains. Rebecca Davis. Thank you to my family, my boyfriend John, and my friends here at UNE for keeping me sane through all of this. After graduation, I plan on going to Fresno, California, and working as an ED nurse there. Oops. Am I on track here? Okay, I'm getting confused with the pictures and the... That was Rebecca. Okay. Next, we have Leah Erhard. I would like to thank my husband, Joey, for supporting me each day, never letting me lose hope, and taking on all the household chores I didn't have time to do. I wouldn't have made it through this program without you. I would also like to thank Dr. Morton for her constant support through this program. I will be moving back to Rhode Island and am applying for positions in the emergency department and special care unit. In 5 to 10 years, I will be a travel nurse, and I am so excited to see where that takes me. Sarah Fagel. Thank you, Mom and Dad, for supporting me through my second degree. I have accepted a job in the special care unit at Southern Maine Healthcare. Catherine Mallory Galan. To my family and friends, thank you for all your love and support through this entire process. To my professors and clinical instructors, thank you for all of your patience and encouragement. I'm excited to start this new journey as an RN. Lauren Goodwin. Oh, sorry. Okay. Sarah Gunders. Thank you to my friends and family for supporting me throughout this program. I can't wait to see where this next chapter takes me. Colin Hoy. Thanks to my parents, grandparents, and especially Aaron. Alina Katanoff. I am thankful for my husband, kids, family, and friends for their support and encouragement. Christy McNall. Thank you to everyone who has supported me throughout this journey. Without your endless love and motivation, this would not have been possible. I am so excited to continue the next chapter in my life as a nurse. Maine, this is not a goodbye, it's a see you later. Thank you. Rebecca Morton. Caleb, thank you for your unrelenting support, your kindness, and love. Mom, Dad, Hannah, Lucas, Emily, Matt, and Nora, I could not have asked for a better family to keep me going. I love you all. Thank you. Shivani Patel. Thankful for my family and friends who helped me keep me sane these past 16 months. Emily Perryman. Thank you to my family for all your support. I love you, Jungle Freaks. Wouldn't have made it without you. Shout out, Lauren. We love you. Mackenzie Regu. Shout out to my family for getting me through this journey. I wouldn't be where I am without them. Also, huge shout out to the Jungle Freaks. You know who you are. We miss you, Lauren. Nicole Schaefer. Thank you to my parents for their support and my brother for listening to me these past 16 months. Lauren Woods. Dad, this one's for you. Thank you for encouraging me to enter the healthcare field and helping discover my greatest passion. Congratulations, everyone.
Happy I can take my mask off. Oh my goodness. All right. Hi, everybody. Congratulations to the nursing class of 2021. You made it. We made it to a moment that we have all been waiting for since the day we started nursing school. The moment where it's official. All of the tears, study sessions, rants, joyous celebrations when you passed an exam, and the times where giving up ran across your mind. I can now tell you that there is no need to beat yourself up over the little things anymore. We've gotten through one of the hardest majors, along with doing so during a pandemic, a time where our society is being tested. But you all have persevered. Our class will go down in history as one of the most resilient. Now, I know you probably all have some wonderful moments and hilarious times during classes that you you get to share with one another and think about as you move forward in the future. Take a minute with me and think back to your first day of clinical. Where were you? What hospital were you in? How were you feeling? I'm sure you all can remember just being a baby back then and not even having the skills you thought to be able to move forward. But now you do have those skills, and you will push forward as one of the greatest nurses in this profession. Take this next step into your professional path as a nurse, and you will see just how rewarding and wonderful the job is going to be. This theory is trusted this past year as we faced what we did through the pandemic, and our nurses were the frontline responders. Now it's your turn to jump forward and be one of those first responders. It's going to be hard. Nobody said it would be easy, but you will have the guidance and resilience to get through all that challenges you in the future. Again, congratulations, and go forth and use your whole heart to answer the call you were made to answer. I want to give a huge thank you to all of those who contributed to making this beautiful ceremony happen. And a huge thank you goes out to Dr. Morton, Professor Blaze, and Professor Bullock for fighting and ensuring that this could go on without a flaw. I also want to thank Professor Cardell, Professor Day, Dr. Kramlich, Dr. Ross, and Professor Hyde for their help during this ceremony, and a huge thank you to the entire nursing faculty and staff who has dedicated this year to making it as wonderful as it was. Thank you to our wonderful speaker, Dr. Baugh, during your ceremony. She had a great time. She told some great stories, and I heard some wonderful laughters. I'd also like to lastly thank our wonderful SNA e-board and the volunteers. To the board, thank you for your hard work in making today possible. Delia, your hard work does not go unnoticed. Join me in a big round of applause for the members who made today successful. Now, graduates, as you proceed out, please join us on the Proctor lawn by the stairs for a class photo. Please remember to social distance and keep your masks on. And thank you and congratulations.